On the agenda tonight, we're going back to 1982. We're going to be taking a look at Olivia Newton John, and she's going to be performing Sam. Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So, we're going to be working our way through this one as we normally do. I will be jumping into it, so if you want to watch the performance the whole way through without me interrupting it, then there's a link in the description below as always. But let's get into it and see how Olivia gets on.
Just like me, longing for company. Oh, say, you know where I am. Come around and talk a while. I need your smile. You need a shoulder. Oh, say, you know where I am. Open wide, come on inside, longing to see you. Sam, you know where I am.
I'm just going to jump in here because there is so much in this performance. Vocally, Olivia is taking you from the quietest whisper to then a full vocal cord connection in chest voice. But the thing that really strikes me about this performance is not only the control, but the range. And this is definitely going to fly under most people's radar because it seems so easy, especially considering the fact that she's putting that air into the sound, so it doesn't sound like she's straining for any of these notes, and she's just flipping up into these really light head voice places. It's not a true falsetto. She still has that ability to connect her vocal cords if she wants to in this head voice. But right at the end there, interesting, you'll see this vibrato that she adds in all the time. But here, on this G4, she intentionally slows it down to make it more dramatic than it was previously. Back to the range that we're covering in this song, because we have the female ranges up on screen. So I'm just going to take it back to the verse, and what I'll do is take down the backing a little bit so that we can hear Olivia's voice a little bit more clearly.
Now, so am I. I'm living alone now.
So, just taking you through that vocal phrase, when I take it back, we can see that we have an A3 that's being hit down here. If we look over at our piano, the A3 will be here. You can see bottom end of the mezzo-soprano range, and I'll let it play through because look where we end up. We have this controlled, breathy C5, and this isn't falsetto, it's a head voice, but with a little bit of air in the mix as well. So the C5, we're looking at the C5 here. I've labelled it as the high C because that's what it is for guys, just so that guys can relate to this. But this C5, look at how far we've gone. And this isn't a whole song. We haven't gone from the A3 up to the A4, and then that's it, and that's the crescendo of the song, and we've covered an octave, and that's usually great to have that ability and to hear that kind of vocal ability in a singer. But in one vocal line we've gone higher, we've gone more than an octave, but because it's so well controlled, I don't think anybody would really notice the amount of notes we've just covered. It's only when you analyze it you think, that is ridiculously impressive for how easy she makes it sound. I'm just going to let this phrase continue because you get an appreciation of Olivia's control between her vocal registers because she hits the same C5 and just flips up into head voice instantaneously. Have a listen.
I was wrong, so you, what will you do?
So that, the F4 from the no, 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 no. It's obviously very high for me, the C5, but I'm kind of going into, a lighter sound. You can hear the way that Olivia connects it.
So you, what will you do?
That it's a lot cleaner. She's taking the air out of the sound, but just look at the vocal accuracy as well. Pitch-wise, dead on the C5, and coming from that F4, it's a substantial jump up, but she just allows her voice to flip up perfectly on pitch to the C5 and then come back down into more of a breathy chest voice. Another thing to point out is the way that Olivia is putting the drama into the performance quite literally by acting out the lyrical content of the song, and we all know her ability for doing that from Grease, being one of the biggest, most popular, if not the most popular soundtrack to a movie that there's ever been. Those songs are just timeless. But putting all of this emotion into the physical aspect of the performance as well makes a huge difference. Even though she didn't write this song, this was written by John Farrar and Hank Marvin from The Shadows. Don Black as well was the lyricist for this. So she's got that ability to make you believe the story of the song coming from her, that she is telling her own story, just to highlight the change in dynamic that we get with Olivia's voice in this performance as well. We're gonna just listen to her get into her chest voice a little bit and lean into it a bit more. And she's now adding a bit more of a deliberate vibrato, because previously with that air in the sound it was more subtle.
I need your smile.
So we had that wow, definite slower wave of vibrato. I need your smile. And just elongating that phrase with the vibrato, just getting that note to sing. And that talk, wow.
I need your smile.
It's got that throwaway edge to it as well, giving it that conversational quality, the storytelling quality, not worrying about hitting notes exactly, just highlight it again. Talk. She's not going talk and being really strict with that, because then that would sound too much like singing. She wants to put in that sound of talking with singing, which is an art in itself, to do it so it doesn't sound contrived, to do it so it's believable and authentic, just sounding authentic as it does here. The thing about great singers is when they've got total control of their voice, they can sing the same notes in different vocal registers. So it could be a falsetto sound that has naturally air in the sound, or a head voice where the singer is allowing air into the head voice sound. But we'll have a listen.
Come on inside, longing to see you sing.
So it is difficult to place, but I would say that she's just sounding like she's releasing into a head voice there and just putting a little bit of air in there. But it's all about that dynamic. I mean, again, that final D sharp 5 that we hit is totally under control. She's not straining for it, and you can tell that she's got it all under control because she's still got the ability to put air into that sound. So we'll jump back into the video where we left it, we'll bring the backing back up, and we'll watch it all the way to the end.
I find the days hard to face now. Empty rooms, there's much too much space now. And the nights go so slow, I'm sure you know. Wish I knew what to do. It would be so nice in you.
And there we have it. What a vocal performance that was. Right at the end there, when she's just releasing into that falsetto, and again, really clean connection with that, almost a reinforced falsetto, hitting those crazy high notes. It looked like we maybe had a D-sharp 6 in there. I'll just point it out on the piano so you guys can see that the D6 will be here, the D-sharp 6 is just a semitone higher. So we've gone from the A3, if I remember correctly, down at the bottom here, bottom end of the mezzo-soprano range, to now higher, the top end of the soprano range, to this D-sharp 6, with this reinforced falsetto sound, but again, totally under control. We'll just have a listen to that again, because she does proceed it with a chest voice configuration and then just releases it, lets it go all the way up there. Such control as well. There's vibrato in that sound. So she's just making these notes sing, and it's totally relaxed. And that's the really important thing to point out, that her vocal technique is just second to none here, hitting these notes. I've just taken it back because we're going to have a listen to Olivia's true falsetto sound, because she sings a phrase where she ascends into her falsetto and then drops back down into chest voice, and we know that it's her falsetto sound because you can't blend chest voice or head voice with falsetto, because the configuration vocally with your vocal cords is totally different. But let's have a listen. So we'll listen to that again. Let me take down the backing, and then we'll just explore exactly what's going on. And you can hear in this sound it's very light. There's not a lot of vocal cord connection, so it's not a head voice. It's definitely falsetto here. And then that almost step down into chest voice. So when we have this, I'll exaggerate it, we have that you can hear that there's no real vocal cord connection in there, and then you can hear that where the vocal cords come together. Obviously I'm exaggerating it to kind of show the difference between loads of air and when the vocal cords come back together. But obviously total control here from Olivia, and great to hear that she's just jumping into these different vocal registers, vocal cord configurations between her head voice at, you know, certain parts in this song. She's getting a really clean head voice, but then putting air in the sound. She's now going into falsetto. At the end, it sounds like almost a reinforced falsetto, like I said. She's then leaning into chest voice, applying more vibrato. So we've just got the full range of technique and dynamic control that you could ever wish to see. Just to mention, to finish with, that Olivia Newton John as a singer has experienced so much success, and I think people don't really appreciate that, certainly here in the UK. She's very well known, and she was in Greece, of course. Everyone will know her from Greece, and that's certainly when I first saw her, and I was born in the early 80s, so it meant that I was watching Greece probably about 10 years or so after it had been released initially. But she was hugely popular in the 70s and the 80s, and she's won 4 Grammys, has sold in excess of 100 million albums. And that's just crazy when you think about it. She's had 26 studio albums, of which 14 have gone gold, multiple platinum selling albums, and actually multiple double platinum selling albums. So just the numbers are crazy, but just the amount of albums that she's sold. But you can tell from this vocal performance that she's just such a unique vocalist, having this kind of control, but such a relatable vocalist. And I'm sure that a lot of her success as a vocalist, as a musical artist, is due to the fact that she has this vocal ability. So it means that she can have crossover success. She can sing pop songs, country pop songs, pretty much you name it, she will be able to turn her vocal to it. Once you then roll that all into the ability to act as well, then it really does give you standalone performances like this one. But anyway, thank you guys for requesting this video for me to take a look at. As always, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Keep those suggestions and requests coming. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Rock!